One of the many things I firmly believe in, that anybody who learns the skill sets of a millionaire can become a millionaire. When I say anybody, I literally mean generally anybody. I know a lot of people that will work hard for 90 days and then they go back to their bad habits. They'll exercise for 90 days, then they go back to their bad habits. They'll keep a good diet for 90 days, then they'll go back to their bad habits. They'll read books for 90 days. Then I'm talking permanent obsession, change that is going to last with you for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. That's what it's going to take to be able to make the kind of money that millionaires make. The money's out there. The money circulates. It doesn't stay in a place. Number one skill set that generally millionaires master is persuasion. Persuasion to me is on many different fronts. One, they have to persuade their family that I'm going to go become an entrepreneur. Please support me. They have to persuade their wife if they're married, their husband if they're married. They have to persuade their kids, parents, peers. They have to persuade investors. They have to persuade an employee to want to come work with them when they're small. They have to persuade a group of salespeople to want to come and sell their product. They have to persuade people on why their product is a special product. They have to persuade why their industry is a special industry and what type of an impact it's made in your life. You got to learn how to persuade people. You got to learn how to persuade when they're selling a customer, when your product may not yet be at the level you want it to be. You need to learn how to persuade investors on why they ought to invest into your company. You need to persuade executives and talent who are with established companies. Why should they consider even working with something like you, working with an entrepreneur like you who is maybe not established yet? Maybe you're not there yet. You got to learn how to persuade your competitors, persuade your partners, persuade your vendors, persuade your carriers, There's a lot of persuasion that you got to do. By the way, you got to learn to persuade yourself as well. You got to psych yourself out to get into the mode of wanting to get to work on a daily basis, especially those days that it's not an exciting day. You got to persuade yourself. Persuasion is one of their skill sets. You got to persuade when you learn how to negotiate. Negotiation is a form of persuasion. Learning how to sell. If you don't know how to sell, kiss entrepreneurship goodbye, because selling is a form of persuasion. Negotiation is a form of persuasion. Speaking from stage is a form of persuasion. Not everybody speaks the same style, but everything there is persuasion. Number two, let me tell you one thing that most millionaires master is reading people. Reading people, and I'll tell you what I mean by reading people. Okay, you got to learn how to read people. You got to learn how to read a customer. You got to learn how to read an employee. Sometimes I get surprised how some people who are pretty successful, they're making $120,000 or $300,000 a year, how easily they fall for the trap of somebody who's full of it. Like, how do you not read that sometimes, right? You got to learn how to read it. Sharing the wealth. Hang tight. This is not a hokey, corny type of thing. I'll explain to you what I mean by sharing the wealth. Anything that's ever at the highest scale, wealth has to be created by multiple people. Leverage. It's very critical. Leverage. Millionaires master leverage. And I think one of the reasons why they understand leverage is the sooner you learn that in order to do anything big, you need a team, is the sooner you'll start scaling at a very fast pace. So you got to learn how to delegate. What do you delegate? What do you not delegate? How do you manage and study a certain thing that you're delegating to somebody to see if they can fully come through with it? Crowdsourcing. One of my favorite questions to ask our staff it doesn't matter who it is. I love to ask, what do you think? What do you think about this? What do you think about this idea? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? What are your thoughts? And I like to ask every different type of personality, somebody who is very skeptical but very technical and smart, somebody who is action excited. Tell me what gets you excited about this. Somebody who's normally in the middle and you don't get a lot of reaction. I want to see all because I want to know what they think about it. Number 5, this is a skill set they master. Let me tell you, recruiting. Let me explain. You recruit a media platform to want to build you up. You recruit talent. You recruit executives. You recruit the best salespeople. You recruit people who are friends that want to go into business with you. Recruit solid, high identity associations. You recruit good friends. You recruit, other people who are extremely successful that also want to associate with you. You recruit them. That's not to sell them anything. That's to sit down and talk and you're learning from one another. You recruit a board. You recruit an advisory board. You recruit the best mentors. Millionaires are great at recruiting the best mentors, partners, investors. They're incredible at networking. They're incredible at connecting. They're incredible at doing any of those things because recruiting to them, they know I am one executive away from scaling my business and doubling my revenues.